Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in the One Duplicant challenge here. Unfortunately, I'm still very sick, so you'll just have to bear with it. But we've been doing an extraordinary amount of work in the previous episode so that we can continue on the main planetoid with remodeling the base and adding tamers for each of the vents, geysers and volcanoes. In the previous episode, I discovered that when duplicants do not have access to the printing pod or any other recreational buildings, they will actually do work during their downtime, and I want to take advantage of that on the main planetoid as well, as it gives me more work hours to get things done. This means I'm actually not going to focus my base around the printing pod. This can be a separate building. Rather, I would like to have the teleportation buildings nearby. So I figured maybe somewhere around here we can make a mini base with a great hall, a bedroom and a bathroom together with a setup for the atmosuits. And then outside of these mini quarters we are just utilizing the atmosuits. Now the first thing I think we can do is actually get rid of the transit tubes. By now I acquired such a high athletic skill that plastic ladders make me much quicker. I already got rid of the fire poles because that currently is the slowest method to go up and down. But yeah, essentially now we want to plan out the new setup for the base, and I'm not entirely sure how I want to do it. All I know is I want to keep that ladder in place. And I also want a more automatic setup for the atmosuits. So atmosuits should be automatically brought to the repair station together with all the ingredients that we require. Let's say we are a little bit more generous with the height of the rooms, making this 5 high, and this way I will have each of the teleporters on a separate level. Let's assume the teleporters are going to be in their separate rooms, and also we might want to make the flooring out of something else than insulated tiles. What about metal tiles made out of gold for the decor? And this is even going to make me faster. On the other side, I'm already pretty quick and I don't necessarily need to be fast here. However, the connection to the main ladder, this should definitely be metal tiles. So yeah, I think it's a much better idea to set up the carpeted tiles for my base. For the teleporter rooms, I'm gonna set up some gold tiles, just like that. We then use gold pneumatic doors. We could set up our transit tube, for instance, right here. Now, this is gonna be important how we do this. Let me see. Stations. If we have the atmosuit checkpoint right here, together with 2 atmosuit docks, everything made out of gold, we can have those sitting on the metal tiles as well. Whenever an atmosuit requires repair, it's going to be dropped down here on the floor together with the oxygen bottle. So we are going to need an auto sweeper to pick these items up. We can have that located right there. Now, there is an issue. Because I only have one duplicant, I cannot actually release the oxygen inside of the base, because I'm just going to accumulate way too much oxygen until my eardrums pop. This is why I had to have the canister emptier outside of the base. But I figured one thing we can do is use this contraption, rebuild it at the new base, at the new location, have that right here on top of an airflow tile, and then we only need to make sure that the auto sweeper somehow can reach it. What happens if we add that oxygen contraption right here? I might be able to do something about this. We can also have the canister emptier at the bottom and then bring up the smart battery. This might actually work. Let's place our canister emptier right there. And then we can also just make the oxygen room one larger. You know, I'm actually not entirely sure. I think I'm first gonna build this and see whether or not the auto sweeper is gonna reach this way. But this would allow me to get an additional ceiling going. This way we get the decor of the gold metal tiles and then the happiness of the carpeted tiles. Now, to make things a little bit easier on me, I'm also gonna set up a storage bin here with a higher priority, and I'm gonna fill that up with refined gold. Maybe even a second one with some igneous rock. Those are going to be the 2 most required materials. Oh, I totally forgot about that. I also skill scrubbed myself, mostly because currently I don't need the digging skills anymore and I might be able to improve in construction, for instance. I'm probably also going to be doing some cooking. I'm running low on berry sludge. And then as usual, we need the mechatronics engineering. So give me that. Thank you very much. Actually, while we're at it, and since we're on the home planetoid with tons of morale, we get the plumbing skill as well. And as mentioned, while we're at it, I'm taking some of the transit tubes already apart. For instance, this main one that goes all the way down, we don't need that stuff anymore. When I started this playthrough, I wasn't aware that this is actually gonna happen. I'm a little bit sad about it because I do really like transit tubes and I found it interesting to only have one cable for all the transit tubes. But we're gonna find ways to make those transit tubes still useful to us. However, when it comes to speed, metal tiles and plastic ladders are gonna be the way to go. Alrighty, we're a little bit further into the building process and I was able to think about this. We will be coming in from this way. This is going to be a beautiful nature reserve that we're going to go through every day. We can either go into this direction to the teleporters, the second planetoid, or we go inside, unequipping the Atmo suit. On the top here, I have the auto sweeper that will be able to pick anything up. For instance, the Atmo suit is going to be brought to the exosuit forge, and then right here, we're going to have some reed fiber handy to also put into the exosuit forge. The auto sweeper will also be capable of reaching this canister emptier. At least I'm hoping this is what's happening here. It would be horrible if we actually have to reach the highest tile, but as far as I know, oxygen not included, it's always one of the bottom tiles that needs to be reached. I decided right here I'm gonna have my bathroom and then at the bottom the great hall and the bedroom. We don't need anything else. Now currently I'm building a cable from all the way over here. We're going to be using this area as well in order to set up a bunch of power transformers, and inside of the base I do not want the large cabling. We will also be focusing a lot on decor, so everything here is maxed out and it's going to be beautiful and nice to live at. Right over here I intend to have my steam room together with a turbine, and we will be able to use an aqua tuner to keep the base at temperature. And then finally, once I build the oxygen production right here, I would like to have a small liquid reservoir together with a pump. Just something that looks nice and makes this nice and completed. One more thing we'll have to take care of is the carbon dioxide. So what I might do is actually continue this for another layer, but this doesn't need to be very large. Yeah, you know, just a finishing layer here beneath everything. We can utilize that to get rid of the carbon dioxide or maybe even add some more machinery. So thinking about it, I might want to make this a little bit higher as well, just in case. And then this is going to be the entire size of the base, without any possibilities to spend the downtime for now, so we can get more work done. Maybe in the future I'm gonna add some sort of an entertainment room at the bottom. Another thing that I did is finally introduce the Wallpaper Mod. This is gonna add a tiny amount of decor but also hides the cabling and the pipes. In the entrance here we're gonna be using some gold, and over here I used iron, and as a matter of fact we're gonna do that with the bottom part as well. Though, do I want to make this room quite as high? Not sure yet. Actually, there is a reason I already came back to you before even completing this build, and that is because I discovered something. So Nathan right here. So I just moved him here in order to clear all what he was about to do. Now he's gonna scan for the closest task, and that is this cable right here. So what is he gonna do? Okay, I actually went for the insulated tiles because they were quicker to build, but we can easily rectify that by upgrading this priority here. So let's see what's happening now when we move close to the cable. I will be going for, let's see, I actually missed the number there, but I'm gonna build 4 cables right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. However, what happens if we start our journey in this tile right here? Let's see what happens. I'm gonna go down and I'm picking up, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I already built 5 tiles. And believe me or not, but I was actually effectively making this much faster by deciding where my duplicant starts before going for the construction command. Sorry, my English is all over the place today, but look at this. I think I picked up 175 kilograms, and that is 7 cables in one go. And of course that also works with tiles, if you can reach all 7 tiles. But yeah, depending on the journey to my storage, this is actually very important because I can build 3 more tiles in one go if I make the placement correct. Anyways, let's quickly get a few basics out of the way. For instance, we want to have a look at plumbing here. Let's get that laboratory going. And I'm gonna have that approximately here. And then we'll also go into medicine and add our sink. That sink is gonna go on the other side, and this is gonna give us space for, you know, decorations and other things. It really doesn't matter that much with the decoration we already have, probably. But I was thinking we might be able to do a flower pot or 2, and then I will be unlocking the research for a painting or so, and then also a statue. So I want a nice marble statue on the right and left side of a beautiful painting in the very center. Then I think I'm gonna make this here the great hall, and this over here is gonna be the bedroom. Needs to be at least 4 tiles high, and then of course we need to unlock the bed, or did we already? Yeah, we did it. Comfy bed. I'm gonna have that bed right here, also with a nice flower pot. We might add some other things later on, but let's close this off together with a nice door. And then that here is gonna be our mess hall. We definitely want some ration boxes in here. Yeah, let's maybe add 2 ration boxes here on the side. I kind of want to make it look like a shelf, but maybe with a different material. I have just normal tiles or mesh tiles. Yeah, we're gonna go with the metal tiles, but replace these here as well. And I definitely don't need 2 ration boxes. I just kind of want to make it look nice and cozy. We definitely needed a mess table, that is for sure, and a water cooler also helps as the recreational building. So I might just want to put that right over here, and on the other side we have some more space for decorations. And then hopefully a bunch of beautiful paintings here at the top. Let me move this mess table one over. Yeah, I think that's going to be better. But yeah, with that out of the way, you kind of know what I'm going for. So I'm gonna make some more progress here, and hopefully in the next clip we can get to the next steps. Alrighty, we are back, and as you can see, I've made some substantial progress also up here, how I want to do it with the automation. I kind of figured it out, I think. The oxygen system hasn't changed from the previous one that I built, except it is 1 tile larger for the canister emptier, and I also accommodated a power transformer as a failsafe. The way this is working is the grid is gonna supply itself as long as it has enough power, and then if the battery doesn't have enough power, it is first of all gonna interact with the hydrogen generator. However, it is also gonna interact with this power shutoff right here that is hooked up to the main grid. So let's get a bridge going for that, and what I need is a filter gate. We're gonna place that right here probably. And what this is going to do is delay the signal for how many seconds we want. We are going to set up a substantial amount of seconds, so the hydrogen generator has the time to charge up the battery. However, if this fails, and this only fails if I don't provide enough water, but if it fails, let's say for a minute or 2, then it's going to activate the power shutoff, and therefore I'm going to resupply the energy with the main grid. Otherwise, the automation is exactly the same. This one here is going to be set to below 5,000 grams. Maybe we should already do that. This one here is above 500. This one here also above 500. So that is going to regulate the pumps. And of course, the hydrogen is going to go directly into the generator. And oh, actually, we still need an overflow for this. Yeah, that is one thing that I forgot. The oxygen, however, is going to travel all the way down into the atmosuit docks, and it is also going to go into the base. I might set up a few more gas vents to evenly distribute it. Also, we might want to set up an airflow tile right here for the carbon dioxide to flow down, and down here we're going to have our carbon dioxide system. So maybe we can actually already set this up, a carbon skimmer here at the bottom. Actually, let's give this a little bit more space. And then I figured with the piping we can also do something. Here is going to be the main line, so wherever our main water source is. And it's first going to go into the liquid reservoir. And I might want to reroute this to make it look a little bit nicer. But essentially I want to send it through this liquid pipe element sensor that is going to detect whether or not we have water packets. And all I want to do as an additional failsafe is send this to a notifier that I had to research. It was still a simple research, but the automated notifier is going to notify me whenever we don't have packets in here. And that actually means we have to send it through a NOT gate first. So that is exactly what we're going to do, like so and so. I might want to raise the carbon skimmer by a little bit, and we're going to set it up on airflow tiles. And right next to it, I'm gonna set up a hydroponic farm. Now, we're gonna do this a little bit differently because we only have 1 duplicant using the toilet and everything. We're actually not gonna filter the water. We're just gonna send it all to the hydroponic farm. That means if we have a look at our water piping, first of all, it's going from the liquid reservoir all the way through here in order to cool down the oxygen, and it's gonna be used up by the electrolyzer. So this has priority here with the bridge. However, everything that exceeds what we need for the electrolyzer is going to go into the other direction. So it's going to go all the way down here, feeding into the sink as well as the laboratory. I want to leave my metal tiles free for the cooling loop, so I'm routing it through the first tile here. And then as of this point, I guess it's gonna go straight down into the carbon skimmer. From the carbon skimmer, we want to go into the hydroponic farm, as well as with these two guys. They're gonna be routed like so, going down. Yeah, let's bring them down like so. Actually, I really don't like this corner. I'm just gonna bridge over and then join up like so. Also, you can see I installed a couple of lights to poop a little bit faster, and I have a light right here for the Great Hall as well. Now, I figured we might want to set up a cycle sensor that is going to be synced to our schedule. So if I have this set up right here, we can then lead a wire to go to all the lights. And with that sensor, I'm just going to make sure that during the downtime, all of these lights are active. I think this is going to look a little bit better than duplicant sensors all over the place. As for the hydrogen, I think I'm gonna do something like that. So we are first gonna bridge over in order to feed it to the generator. And whenever we have all of these pipes filled up, we're gonna take a different route like so. But we're not gonna mix it up with the oxygen packets. Instead, we're gonna bring the oxygen packets down. Actually, we can keep this on one level with a bridge and then bring it over like so. And the hydrogen is then gonna continue to wherever we need it. Yeah, I think I like this routing a little bit better. And once this is all done, we can finish off the room. And that is one more step out of the way. Another thing we might already want to set up is the steam turbine here together with the aqua tuner. And I think I'm just going to make this a double wall, since we don't need that much space. Whoa, did I build sandstone liquid pipes? What am I doing? What? Hold on, that needs to be fixed. Jeez. Huh, okay. For some reason, the routing this time turned out even more elegant. I'm already gonna go ahead and plant that thimbleweed seed. And just look at my face! I'm so happy on the carpeted tiles. This is actually something I didn't know about for a very long time. I always tended to avoid the carpeted tiles because of the reduction in movement speed. I think something else I'm gonna set up is this auto sweeper right there. That is gonna take care of everything that's being dropped from the thimbleweed. And it should be brought to a conveyor loader. Maybe we can put this guy a little bit further away. Yeah, if we have it right here, I can put my conveyor loader right there. And then we might be able to do something like that. No, that is gonna suck to build. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through the ceiling here. That means I only have to deconstruct the exosuit forge to actually get to the conveyor receptacle. Have a little ladder there. That should do the trick. We already have 1,350. Together with the exosuit forge, it's gonna be much more. But I think altogether, we should be good. Yeah, the only problem is gonna be if we do the transit tube access point in conjunction with the exosuit forge and a couple of other things. But if I ever overload this cable one single time, then I'm just gonna add a secondary cable one level further down. Nice, we just closed off the oxygen room. I will have to pump it out once. And then of course we still have to provide the water. Let's go ahead and clean this up as well, so we can finish up the reservoir room as well. One last piece of automation we're going to require is inside of the Great Hall, potentially right there. And what we're going to have here is another conveyor receptacle with our berry sludge. I wonder, maybe we could get rid of one ration box because we don't really need it, but then set up two different conveyor receptacles. Nah, that is stupid as well. I'm probably never gonna switch to another food, except frost burgers. That might be the only other food I'm gonna switch to in a reasonable amount of time. But I mean, currently I'm pretty happy with the berry sludge. I just want it to be automatically delivered. Yeah, but honestly, there's no sense in having two ration boxes for me right now. So we might just do two receptacles here, but fill them both up with berry sludge. And that berry sludge, of course, would be delivered from somewhere outside, which is my kitchen currently. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is not going to be extremely convenient. I'm not going to focus on building that rail just yet. I'm just going to represent it with this conveyor loader right there. And in the future, we're going to hook it up to the kitchen. We might even move the kitchen a little bit closer. Wonderful. I would say we're actually almost done. I'm at the moment pumping out the room upstairs here. And I already started with the cooling loop and the aqua tuner, as you can see here. We're actually missing a bridge. Totally forgot to complete that bypass here. However, once the liquid has been cooled down, we are going through the steam turbine room to cool this down first, and then we are starting the cooling loop for the base. It is gonna run straight through each level of the base, and I'm actually gonna ignore that we have carpeted tiles here. It doesn't really matter, I don't think so. And we're also gonna run through that one here, and then finally one more run through the bottom layer. Now at some point I would like to include a liquid reservoir in order to equalize the temperatures, and this might best be done right here, to be honest. Should we also raise this one up? I'm actually not so convinced. Let's place it right there, and if we actually do the loop into the other direction, this might be better, because then it is going through the steam turbine and then into the aqua tuner. That means we're gonna always have the exact same temperature coming out of the liquid reservoir. If we do it into the other direction, then the aqua tuner is gonna be the first thing after the reservoir, and that means packets that are above the temperature that I would like are gonna be cooled down 14 degrees, and then we are 14 degrees below the temperature that I would like. So it would have to go from the aqua tuner straight down to the liquid reservoir. If we switch the aqua tuner around the design, we can easily do that. So we should probably do that. I'm just gonna remove all the pipes and the sensor, and we're just gonna switch this around. And of course I brought some materials with me into these storage bins so I can build more efficiently, and this is working quite well so far. To pump out the room, by the way, I just borrowed the power, the main source that is currently coming in, and I cut the cables wherever necessary. Right then, new aqua tuner setup is gonna go here, so the output can directly go down. Here's gonna be our sensor, and the bypass is gonna go up and over, and then we can use a bridge right there. Then we're gonna start our loop, but first we wanna go into the liquid reservoir. After that we come out, we can possibly connect the radiant pipes here. Do I still have aluminium? Yeah, still 30 tons, so that's gonna be easy. We go up here, up there, and then finally back into the aqua tuner. Yeah, I think that was actually quite an easy fix. You know, I wonder, should I put everything one more block up? I just noticed I could have this pattern and still have enough space. Yeah, it's gonna suck a little, but I wanna do it. It's gonna be worth it. Otherwise, I'm gonna look at this in the future and I'm gonna be extremely disappointed. So this can be another layer of mafic rock, and then we're just gonna raise this another layer, and we should still have enough space. As for the notification, we're gonna make the worst possible notification ever, and this is gonna be no water, exclamation mark. Check main water source. And I'm even gonna go as far as to pause and zoom, because if that happens, something is really wrong. Because that means our main water source is dry, and that is almost impossible with all the water sources we have going on. But check this out, it is much nicer even though we have the exact same system going on, even with the piping, just everything shrank down a little bit. Wonderful, we achieved a vacuum, so I'm gonna get rid of all the pump stuff here. We can then clean up the room and be done with it. Currently I have one problem, that the thermal aqua tuner and the steam turbine aren't hooked up to the main grid. I want to do this here at the ladder shaft, but I think to get this kick started I'm just gonna go with a simple coal generator setup. So we'll have two coal generators, a storage bin in the center, a auto sweeper on the top. We're gonna hook this up to the grid, finally add a smart battery as well, and hook this up to some automation wire. And this for now is gonna provide the power, and the steam turbine can unload if it needs to. Now actually looking at this, we could make this more elegant by going down here instead. However, that would mean we have to move the steam turbine one over, which we can easily do. This is even gonna make the routing of this pipe a little bit more elegant. Yay, amazing, we are practically done here. I was able to print some more pip eggs, so I brought them over here. They will be able to hatch, and then I can set up my plans for the nature reserve. I'm also about to finish the steam room, filled it up with enough liquid here at the bottom and a tiny layer of brine, like we did it on the second planetoid. So this churn plate here doesn't transfer any heat because we have a vacuum. And it's also not touching the steam turbine. At this point I kind of want to get rid of the gases here, so maybe let's for a brief moment connect these pipes together to this high gas pressure vent. And let me see, we might have to do it like so. I just want to prevent any accidents from happening. This should all just go out. So now theoretically when I hook this up, we should see some pumping action going on, and we're getting rid of the gases. This should only take a very brief moment. Another thing we can already do is fill up the cooling loop. I brought this pipe here from our current water source that was going down to the oil well. Now let me see, we just have to hook this up again. We have to hook this one up and the packets should be flowing over as soon as we build this bridge, for instance. And maybe at the same time we can also build another bridge here in order to fill up this liquid reservoir and get my appliances running. Ah, the power shutoff actually did its thing. We have to set this. Let's say the high threshold here on this battery is 95 and then the low one is going to be 60. And I also already set the filter gate here to 2 minutes. So as soon as we go below the 60 here for 2 minutes, then it's going to enable the power shutoff and provide power from outside. My water is incoming and it's going right around here. I don't want to have this activated just yet, especially at that dangerous setting. Let's do, something impossible. And then to be honest with you, I first would like to fill up the liquid reservoir at least halfway before we continue the loop. Oh my gosh, I almost got a heart attack from that. Yeah, maybe boing boing is a little bit better. Jeez, okay. Of course that happened because we managed to get a little bit of water and then no more water, and that is exactly what the system is supposed to do. I want to have around 2.5 tons of liquid, just like that. And now we can connect these pipes again, and that is going to be the same amount of liquid we have inside of here. And then once the loop is finished, we can get rid of that bridge. And at this point, I'm also going to set it to the right setting. I basically always want to have 22 degrees warm water. So as soon as it is above the 22 degrees, I want my aqua tuner to do some work. And then of course the cold generators are going to kick in for a little while, but in the future we're going to hook this up to the main grid. Good, first loop is filled up, let's get rid of that. Now we are filling up the second loop here. Well, this one here is technically not a loop but a dead end. But now my water is incoming, and as soon as the entirety of the liquid reservoir is filled up, I'm gonna connect the pipes again. But of course I first want to make sure this is a vacuum, which it almost is now. Finally, we achieved a vacuum. I just noticed that we don't really have a vacuum here, and that is not good. Because, well, it is nasty, germ-filled, polluted oxygen. I mean, it is pretty nasty overall here. But yeah, eventually I'm gonna go in here and pump this room out as well. We're gonna do that with all the rooms. I'm probably gonna combine these rooms for a brief moment in order to do so. But more importantly, now we can go ahead and hook up this liquid reservoir. That means it's gonna continue flowing into that contraption. And then as soon as we get the gases in here, it should be able to basically power itself, at least for as long as we provide water. Now, you actually gave me a tip to set this to 750. I'm not sure if that does anything against the failure rate, but from my experience, the design either works without any issues at all, and if it doesn't work, you can also not fix it. It has something to do with coordinates or something in that direction, but usually when it works, it works. This canister emptier is gonna be oxygen, of course. At this point, I'm gonna redo the pipes the way they were. So it's first gonna go into the generator and afterwards it's gonna continue here. And then as for the oxygen, it is supposed to go into the base. Since this is all polluted oxygen, it should be easy to filter it out. And also, as soon as I build this transit tube access point, we should be able to enter the base in a dignified way. We started pumping. That is good. That means we are starting to fill up this hydrogen pipe. Very nice. Okay, we'll have to think about where to bring this hydrogen very soon. But essentially, we're now ready to move the base. Maybe let's hook up the main cable now by just connecting this. And oh yes, I also figured we don't necessarily need the auto sweeper here. Basically, I can use these conveyor receptacles to get the berry sludge, and I just have to allow manual use. And then I can use the ration box for any other edible stuff apart from the berry sludge. Wonderful. With the complete build out of the way, we should be able to move in next episode. That means we're gonna disassemble all of that. We're gonna exchange everything with some clean air, possibly even with deodorizers. We can just get rid of the germs this way. But geez, I'm really looking forward to this, and I really hope you enjoyed this build and today's episode. And with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, have a great time, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.